doctor that has worked for, year after year after year in dealing with things like we talk about prostate cancer. And as a survivor of 11-year prostate cancer survivor, it's people like Dr. Fulgham that I am most indebted to because they save lives. You hear so much about women's breast cancer, which is so important. My little sister died of breast cancer at age 38, and that's far too young. You have young children and what have you. It totally changes the dynamic of your entire life and your whole family, not just the one that passes away. But 1 out of every 8 women get breast cancer, and yet 1 out of every 6 men get prostate cancer. So we are delighted to welcome Dr. Fulgham, who has a golf tournament coming up a week from tomorrow. So welcome, my friend. How you doing?
We really appreciate you having us on.
No, it's always great to be alongside and find out what's new in your world. Anything in particular, or is it just the same old, saving lives and trying to do what you can as they say, stamp out disease every single day, huh?
Well, of course, that's high on our list, but there are a large number of very interesting and exciting things going on in urology that have to do with the management of prostate cancer. We've developed better and better ways to diagnose it, and of course now with the development of robotics, we have ways to remove the prostate that are less invasive. We've also made some great progress in treating men with advanced disease, and the life expectancy and survival rates continue to go up. So we're making slow progress, although prostate cancer will still take more than 26,000 men from us this coming year, so we still have some work to do.
Boy, that's for sure. And it's funny, I mentioned at the top about my episode with prostate cancer 11 years ago, and yet I found out last week that my brother-in-law has prostate cancer, and so had actually had surgery on Friday. So you just never know, do you?
No, you don't, and it touches everyone. It's no respecter of station or place in life. It can certainly happen even at a young age, but it primarily affects men in their 50s to 70s, and on that basis, many years ago, we developed an organization to try and further not only the science of urology, but also the art of urology. One of the things that we hope to do is to support our survivors, but also continue to do good work to advance our understanding of the disease. So in 2001, we developed something called the Urology Research and Education Foundation, and that's going to be the sponsor of this golf tournament coming up next week.
Well, let me ask you this, Dr. Fulgham. If somebody that is listening this afternoon wanted to get involved in playing the tournament, how might they do that?
Well, we have a website called prosandjoesgolftournament.com, and that website would give them an opportunity either to sign on as a player or this year we're particularly lucky to have Troy Aikman be our honorary chairman for the tournament. He's going to join us at lunchtime before the shotgun start at 1:30, and he's actually going to talk to us a little bit about the Cowboys this year, I'm sure, and you're very intimately involved with that. As you know, you're going to be his co-host for that luncheon, and so if people aren't interested in playing golf or don't have the time to play golf, they could certainly come and join us for the lunch. It's going to be a very interesting hour or so. So if anybody has an interest, please go to prosandjoesgolftournament.com and join us.
Just PROS and JOES.com, huh?
Well, it's Pros and Joe's Golf Tournament.
Oh, golftournament.com, yeah, okay. Well, that's fantastic, and I think it's outstanding that you got Troy involved. He has become so benevolent over the years. I mean, he was when he jumped on board. He did all the things that he did with his Aikman's End Zones and what have you in children's hospitals across America. But above that, he set a record just last year as the chairman of the United Way campaign in Greater Dallas, and just it was just unbelievable. He raised over $61 million. So he really has followed right in the footsteps of a guy by the name of Roger Staubach, who also won a couple of Super Bowl titles. So he's in pretty good company. So I think that's outstanding that you've been able to get him to be a part of this. And I know I'm certainly looking forward to it. And and I also did not know. I heard you say that somebody can come and have lunch, be a part of the program, listen to Troy and what have you, but not actually play in the golf tournament. Is that right?
That's right. We've got some tables available for individuals or groups who just like to come and hear the discussion and be close to Troy for a few minutes and hear what he has to say about the upcoming season. He was most gracious to do this for us, and we've been lucky through the years. We've had, as our honorary chairman, not including you, we've had Rick Carlisle and Tom Grieve and Dr. Kenneth Cooper and Mr. Sam Pack and Del Harris. So we've had quite a who's who of the sports and business community come to join us for this tournament. We're really privileged to have Troy this year to kind of raise the profile a little bit.
Well, go look in the mirror. That's the reason they're coming.
That's nice of you to say, but I will also say when I'm looking at your history within the community, I don't know if anybody, including Troy, has done any more to reach out and provide time and loan their fame to helping promote the cause of being aware of prostate cancer. I really want to thank you personally for all the things you've done.
Well, I appreciate that. I obviously concerned about my own son. Someday he might have to deal with what that's all about. It is genetic, or I guess it doesn't have to be. But my grandfather had prostate cancer. My dad then got it, and I knew I was a walking billboard for it. And sure enough, and each time we were a few years younger than So you just never know. But if you're smart, you get your PSA checked and get your other checks. I mean, you're better qualified to tell. What would you do if somebody's 20, 30, 40 years old? Tell them what they should be doing to be very smart about making sure that they catch it in time.
Well, we do know that there's some risk factors that are genetic. So if you have a strong family history of prostate cancer, meaning at least 2 primary male relatives who have the disease, we know you're at increased risk. So if you have a father and his brother, or your father and your brother, you're at very high risk to develop the disease during your lifetime. Fortunately, we have some very good tests now to detect it, including the PSA, but there's also some genetic testing available to see if you carry some of the genes that put you at higher risk. If you're African American, we know that's an increased risk factor. So those men should probably have a PSA at age 40 or 45. The PSA, as the listeners may know, stands for prostate-specific antigen. That's just a blood test. And if that test is very low on the initial study, you may not need it again until you're age 50. But for sure, starting at age 50, you should see your doctor every year and have a PSA blood test. Our ability to cure this disease, if we find it early, is very high. In fact, we've becoming so good at diagnosing it, we have to be careful that we diagnose people in a timely fashion and not subject them to treatment they may not need. That's another big advance, and our foundation's been instrumental in helping write those rules around the country. So we're really happy to be involved in learning how to use technology effectively and try and get the very best result for our patients. That's kind of what the foundation's about.
Well, it's incredible what you've continued to do. There's a lot of great doctors in this world, but I wish more of them had learned along the way about all the great things that you continue to do. Even little things like having a golf tournament, which is not a little thing. I mean, it takes a lot of time and a lot of planning, but it's still above and beyond what the normal doctor would do if you go and visit him in his doctor's office. You're out there making a difference, and so we can't thank you enough. Let me say before you go, or let me ask you, better put, is there one thing that you're proudest of, or you cherish most about what you get a chance to be a part of every single day? I mean, as I said at the top, Dr. Fulgham, you're saving lives every single day. It doesn't get much better than that. But I just wondered something that a good takeaway that you might share with the audience.
Yeah, I think the main thing that's most enriching for me is that I get to use some basic knowledge and then put it into practice in people's everyday lives. And it's not always just about a surgery that saves people's lives. You never know when you're going to reach out and touch somebody who hasn't been diagnosed. And it's just planting that little seed in their mind that if they live a healthy lifestyle and then they just bother to go get checked at least once a year, they very likely will head off the really severe effects of the disease. And even if they're unfortunate enough to develop prostate cancer, they have a very high probability of living a normal, healthy, long life, even if they get it. So that's one of the more satisfying aspects of being involved in urology. Great advice. And the website, prosandjoesgolftournament.com.
You don't have to play in the golf tournament. If you want to show up and be a part of the special luncheon with Hall of Fame quarterback Troy Aikman, it's all a week from tomorrow. Going to be over at Brookhaven Country Club. So, again, Dr. Pat Fulgham, a special doctor that helps those that need help the most with diseases like prostate cancer. Thank you for all you continue to do.
And thank you, Scott, for having us. We appreciate it.
Good deal. I'll see you a week from tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you. And we're going to be back with more right after this.